today, you will be, the ultimate goal today, dividing decimals. That's what we want to be able to do when we're done. Our objective is to be certain that we understand how to divide decimals. Okay? We're going to be dividing decimals by whole numbers, and we're going to be dividing decimals by decimals. Okay? And this is actually the last section in our chapter. Okay? So just know that we've got a chapter quiz and a chapter test coming up. Okay? Now, the one thing that I know, let's say I've got that's what I'm going to divide. 3.7, and I don't know how pretty it's going to end up because I don't really know. I haven't done it. Just pulled this one out of my head. 3.7 divided by 1.2, or 3 7/10 divided by 1 2/10. We always put the first number, the 3 7/10, in the house, okay? Because the divisor is 1 2/10. What do you already know? It looks like I got some people that already know how to do this. What do you already know, Kagan?
There can't be a decimal in that a number outside of the house.
In the divisor, I have to get rid of the decimal. And I can't just erase it and say, well, I'm done with it, it's gone. Okay? So I have to do it systematically. And I personally have a little story that I tell kiddos because they get lost and they're not sure how it works. How many of you come from a large family? Large family, got it. How many of you like to go to grandma's? Like to go to grandma's, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And in a lot of times in the large families, who is mom and dad typically most worried about? The oldest kid or the youngest kid?
Oldest.
Youngest. Typically, it's the baby. They're always worried about making sure the baby's not out in the cold getting sick.
Or the toddler.
Okay? So, in order to go to a house and to knock on the house, and everybody's, is it a big deal to who knocks on the house? Who gets to knock on the door?
Everyone fights over it.
You kind of, what did you just say, Bryson? You fight over it, right? Yeah. And because mom and dad is worried about that baby, Bryson, they put the baby at the front of the line. They used to get their own way, am I correct?
Oh, yeah.
The baby gets their way, and so now they get to knock on the door. Well, on the inside of the house, maybe it's not Grandma or Grandpa's, maybe it's Uncle Billy's, and their family's really big too. And so when somebody's knocking on the door, especially if you don't really expect anybody, what does everybody do? Run to the door. I got it. And who gets pushed out of the way? The littlest one.
Let's go.
So this Desi has made the decision that they're tired of being pushed out of the way. So if Desi on the outside has to come one step to get to the door, Desi on the inside is going to back up one step and go to the roof. Because now they can see who's there. And that's where we leave Desi. Leave it on the roof. It's in a good place. Okay? I don't have to worry about where it's at. I know where it's at. And now I just do division like I would any other day of my life. And so, how many times will 12 go into 37? How many times, Brian?
3 times.
3 times. And 3 times 12 is 36. Get me 1. Now I haven't zeroed out, so I'm going to add a 0. And I'm going to bring it down. Is 12 going to go into 10? No. Because it won't, I'm going to throw that 0 right there. Okay? And I'm going to add another 0. You see, I'm not going to do remainder 10/12 anymore. Okay? Now I have to figure it out. So I'm going to add the 0. Will 12 go into 100? How many times, Amelia? 8 times. And what is 8 times 12? I do the math, I get 4. I'm going to add a 0 and I'm going to bring it down. Will 12 go into 40? This one's going to end up being another
3.
3 times. And 12 times 3 is 36. And 4's left over.
Yeah.
And if I put another 0 and I bring it down, what's going to happen?
0, 0, 0.
That 3 is going to keep repeating, isn't it?
So dot, dot, dot.
Okay, so at this point I can say I'm done. I can't get an exact answer, but my final answer on this one. And I prefer just to do the line instead of doing the dot, dot, dot. This is just easier for me. So my final answer is 3 and 83 thousandths repeating. Okay, that means the 3 goes on. The only trick about this is to be careful that your number, that the line that I drew above the 3 doesn't also include the 8. Because if my line's too long, then it looks like the 838383. And that's not a correct answer. Okay? Let's see if we can do one that's maybe not so crazy. That one I pulled out of my head, and that's not always safe. And sometimes I pull stuff out that makes no sense. Well, what if I did 21 and 643 thousandths divided by 2 and 3/10? Somebody raise their hand and tell me which one of them is going in the house. Who's going in the house? Melissa? 21 and 643 thousandths is in the house. And 2 and 3/10 is on the outside. Now I have a question too. This is very important. Lining everything up at this point is very important as you work. Because if you don't, you're going to get lost and you're not going to know where to add the zeros and where to put the deci. I mean, it can get complicated. Over here in the manipulative paper drawers, I have graph paper, you know, with where you can use your rows and columns. It's over here. You're welcome to use it anytime you want. If you find yourself making mistakes of just not being able to line it up, use the graph paper, okay? Use the tool that makes it easier for you. I'm okay with that, all right? All right, so what do I do? What's Desi do? What should I do first, Malia? Move the decimal over. Good. Desi's going over to knock on the door. Inside, it has to move back the same number of places and run to the roof. Okay? Now, as I work through this I have to be careful about so that I put this next number exactly where it goes. Is 23 going to go into 2?
No.
Will it go into 21? Will it go into 216?
Yes.
Yes, and how many times, Brianna?
9.
9 times? That 9 has to be directly above the 6 because it didn't go into the 2 and it didn't go into the 1. Now, I don't have to have those leading zeros there, but if putting them helps me get that 9 where it belongs, okay. Doesn't hurt a thing. Does the leading zeros mean anything at all other than holding a place for me?
Nope.
To keep it nice and neat. 9 times 23 is 207?
Yep.
Okay, so I've got to do some of that old regrouping. This becomes 0. 16 minus 7 is 9. I've got, that's it, right? Because 0 minus 0, okay. So now I'm going to bring my 4 down. Is 23 going to go into 94? 23 goes into 94 how many times?
3. No.
So let's stop blurting and raise our hand. Brianna? Brianna says 4 times. Okay? And 4 times 23 is 92. I'm going to do my subtraction. I get 2. I still have a 3. I got to bring it down. And 23 will go into 23 one time. Have I zeroed out?
Yes.
Am I done?
Yes.
So my final answer technically is 9 and 41 hundredths. okay? We're just dividing decimals. The only thing is, we just have to make sure that deci gets moved around where it belongs. Here would be one. What if I give you this one? See if this one trips you up any. What if I said, I'd like to see if I can trip you. What if I said 459 thousandths divided by 51 hundredths? You're going to do this one completely on your own. Do the math. And if we do really well and we get it done right, then I can give you the assignment and you'll have the rest of the time to work.
Yay!
I need to find it though and put it out there where I can.
I've got a few other things to do.
I might try doing the right problem. Okay, you said. Yes. Check your decimal place. How many, is Desi here knocking on the door?
No.
It's gotta go to the door. Yes. 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 Mhm. What number is that? I know, it should be a, right? We've moved it 2 places here, right? It's gotta go 2 places on the inside, the same number of places. Okay? Yes. Yes. All the way down. Yes. It is, but it's not. How many places did you do this, Desi?
What'd you get, Fred? Did she
This
tell you?
one. Because actually that one switched around. So you gotta move
Does
both places.
51 go
Okay.
into 45, which is what you're saying?
Yep.
No.
So that's gotta be a 0.
0 here and then 9.
What's your
So
answer?
let's get our 0 here and then we'll talk about it.
The way you said that
Did
was
you move the decimal? Did Desi go and knock on the door here?
Okay, now does 51 go into 459?
Has to be all the way in.
9 tenths. So you're saying it's gotta go where? What should go right where that 0 is? Right now you're saying 51 goes into 459 0 times.
Yes.
That's what you're telling me.
Is everybody done?
Where are you erasing that one?
You just said it was
No, I did not say that. Does 51 go into 45?
You should have gotten, Desi moves all the way to the door,
0.
and that's 2 places.
0.
And if it moves 2 places on the outside,
So you come down.
it has to move 2 places on the
It doesn't
inside
go
and
into
up.
45, 51 goes into
And you should have
459
gotten-
how many times? Put your 9 there where that 0 is.
Should have gotten 9/10, okay? The only thing that I saw kiddos not do I saw some kiddos move the decimal on
Correct answer. Good
51
job.
hundredths only one place. I saw some kids move it two, but then inside only move one. The movement of the decimal has to be the same, both inside and outside. Okay? Alright, are you ready to give it a shot? I think you are. So what if I ask you to go to page 54 in the math journal? Let's write this down so you know what it is. You're also going to go to textbook page 99, 61 to 65. How many of you would rather do decimals than fractions any day?
No fractions.
No fractions.
Not me. I'll take a decimal any day of the week.
My paper is ripped in half. Did I leave my
Nope. That's math journal. You're gonna have to wait, child. Sorry, kiddo, but you gotta wait.